This meeting is being recorded.
Hey you guys, welcome. It's Tuesday night training, as most y'all should know, unless you're catching the replay later on. That tonight's topic is daily habits and what that looks like. So as I talked to the girls earlier about with Kristen and Rachel that are joining us this evening, thank you guys so much for that. We are going to go over 5 ways that you can implement through your business, super easy ways that are daily habits. And as I was explaining to them earlier, these are daily for me, but depending upon your schedule, they can be weekly or monthly, just whatever fits in for you. If 5 seems to be even overwhelming for you, because when I first started with my Scentsy business, 5 would have been overwhelming for me. Write all of them down, grab a pen and paper, write all of them down, but just circle one, put a star by one, and start working on that one. And as always, Friday and Saturday nights, if there's anything that you guys want to discuss a little bit further from tonight's topic this week, just let me know whenever we do our Zoom power hours. All right, so let's go ahead and dig in. So number 1, once a day, set your alarm for 10 minutes. This can be either in the morning or the night, depending upon your schedule and what your day looks like. But set it for 10 minutes, set your alarm, do customer follow-up and thank yous. This is by far, out of all 5, I would say the easiest. And why I say that is because Scentsy has it set up to do the work pretty much for you. You just have to implement it and execute it. So what I mean by that is anytime a customer, if you're new to Scentsy, so every time a customer orders, Scentsy sends you an email letting you know that a customer placed the order. So typically, for me, I usually do it in the morning. Most of the time I have a bad habit. Again, we're talking about habits. I have a habit of grabbing my phone, getting on my phone first thing in the morning before I even get out of bed. That may be different for a lot of you guys. Sometimes, I do that at night as well. But I set my alarm for 10 minutes. And what I do is I go into my email and I'll scroll through and I want to see through my email who placed orders with me. All right. So whoever placed orders with me, I will then go and I'll either private message them on Facebook or text them, depending upon the relationship that I have with them. And I immediately, first thing in the morning, thank them for their order. Now, if you're like me, I like to be a little bit more personable. If you have a VIP group, then I do recommend going on there and shouting them out and tagging them. Typically a little trick or a little tip I like to do is I will go into my workstation on your Scentsy dashboard, go into your workstation, look into your order history, and you want to find what they ordered. So what I personally like to do, I didn't always do this, but I have found that it actually increases my sales when I do this because people are nosy and they want to know what everyone's ordering. And when they see what everyone's ordering, they're like, well, I might actually like that too, because I like this person. I vibe with this person. I know her, I get along with her. We connect in somehow, some way, and that looks pretty cool. I might try that out. So what I usually will do is I'll go to their order history and I'll pick one thing out that they ordered. It can be a fragrance. It can be a personal item like fragrance, flower, wax bar, warmer, whatever you want to do. I'll go to Facebook, find a personal photo that matches that, and then I'll post it to the tag and I'll thank them for their order. Another thing, if you want to take it a little step further, is if I have customers that order a 3-pack or a 6-pack, I will personally say, we'll just use the name Ashley. So I'll say, thank you so much, Ashley, so-and-so, for your order. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your support of my small business, however you want to word it. But then the fun part is that I'll say, check out Ashley's 6-pack of wax, or Ashley's 3-pack of wax. It makes it more personable. Again, people want to be nosy. They want to see what somebody else is ordering. And then it creates also conversation around that post. So then that way you're helping your algorithm, because we all know that's a special word in the Scentsy land. So customer thank yous, customer follow-up. Follow-up basically means the same thing. So whenever, again, if you're new to Scentsy, every time that your customer's order ships, Scentsy will also send you an email, which is really cool. The email system is free. We do not pay for that. So it goes directly to the personal email that you registered when you joined Scentsy. So that's where it's going. And you get an email. What's really cool is that when Scentsy sends you that email, there is a tracking link that you can click on. And then just like anything else, when we track our Amazon packages, because we all know that we do that, that when we're tracking it, it'll show you when it's expected. So this is going above and beyond, but it's just great customer service that you're implementing. Same thing, message your customer, email your customer, no matter however, you want to contact them, whatever that looks like, let them know oh, hey, Ashley, I was just letting you know that your order is going to be there at the end of the day today. People like to know those things because let's be honest, no one truly likes checking their email, right? So for us, it's just right. It's like it's a part of our business, though, right? It's part of our business. It is what it is. But to me, like those teeny little habits, those little things go above and beyond, but they make a whirlwind of a difference. Because can you imagine, like, for example, Amazon? Can you imagine, like, if someone called you and let you know, like, hey, like I'll use me, like, hey Megan, I was just letting you know your Amazon order is going to be out for delivery tomorrow. Hell yeah, like wouldn't that be awesome? Because that means I don't have to check my email. I don't have to track it. It just makes it so much easier. And your customers will thank you for it in the long run. So that was number one. Number two, I would personally say the second week of the month. For me, I do this the first week of the month, but this will make more sense when I go further into it. But second week of the month, pick a day for Happy Mail. So if you're new to Cincy, Happy Mail is just simply thanking your customers again for their order. Just thanking them for their order. It could be thanking them for helping you work your VIP group. For a lot of customers, it could be that they're not ordering from you as often, but they are still supporting your business because they're sharing your link. They're sharing your post, they're commenting, they're liking, you get it. And so that's something that I personally do. For me lately, I've been doing it like this week will be the week that I'm working on my customer Happy Mail, because I typically will wait until I get paid with Cincy. And then if there's anything that I'm needing to get business wise for my Happy Mail, then I'll wait till then. Otherwise, this month I actually kept it super simple. So I went back to like the basics. And what I mean by that is like my Happy Mail is just a basic white envelope. They're getting a product list, a scent circle, oh, and then the last thing that I'm adding in, I finally found it, you guys. I was trying to show you all this on my live last time and I couldn't find them, but I got them off of Amazon. I've never heard of these before, but apparently these are super popular, but they're flat and they're fortune tellers. So what it is it's this, I don't know if y'all seen these before or not.
I got it, yeah, in the envelope you sent earlier this week, and I
yes,
didn't know what
yeah. I sent it to you guys, yeah. So that way y'all can see what it looks like. So I put to a side because I definitely want to try it out myself. But this is something super easy, super simple. It lays flat. It was very cheap on Amazon. It come in like a pack, I think of like 200, like 100 or 200. So that's something that you could easily send to your customers. But let's just say that, for example, because like stamps are expensive, right? So let's just say stamps are expensive, or perhaps your month is a little bit pressing, especially for you guys that have older kids that are going into all things sports, and all of that's getting started pretty soon, and summertime starting. So that may look a little bit different for you. So Happy Meal doesn't necessarily have to be something tangible that you are sending to them. But I will say this is that whatever you do, keep doing it. Don't stop. Your customers are not going to care what that looks like. It could be as simple as going back to like what I was saying about texting. Text your customer, just thank them for their order. That does not take long at all. We're already on our phones anyways. You don't necessarily have to spend any money on your customers. Don't feel pressure to do that as well. There are a lot of groups that I know that we all individually follow that show up for, I actually got out of a group that was like for Happy Mail, just because my Happy Mail looks different every month. So typically I will not show you guys what I do for Happy Mail because it's not the same for me every month. But yeah, you just do whatever's in your budget. That's what all I gotta say. I was gonna show y'all, like if you're new to Cincy and you're just like, what the heck is a scent circle? These are scent circles. There are 2 for 1. So typically, if I'm putting this in a basic white envelope for customer Happy Mail, what I'll do is I just lift it up. I know a lot of you guys have started doing this as well. I just lift it up. I get a pen, or you can do a pencil, either way, and then I just write a little thank you note on there. It takes a couple seconds, and it's gonna mean everything to your customers. Now, I will say this: if you do not have host rewards to get these, please don't order them. Please don't spend your money on them. Like, just don't. Like you guys see me do them, but I promise you every time, because that's another important thing on a side note, always have a party link open every month. Always have a party link, because you can always use your half price credit to get 6 scent circles for like, what is it, like $6.50, I think, like $6.50, something like that. Not a lot of money at all. So, but like I said, if your budget's a little tighter than that, or you're pressed for time, keep it stupid simple. And I say that with all kindness in my heart. Keep it stupid simple. Text your customers, just say a simple thank you. That is going to go a long way. I'm very passionate about thank yous because these are the customers that are going to keep returning back to you time and time again. They are going to refer you to their friends. They are going to remember you as a consultant. If you are somebody who lives in a saturated area of consultants like I do, this is what helps you stand apart because we have a ton of girls in the Galveston County area, which is where I live, that are leaders. Okay. And half of them I've never even met before. But that's because I set myself aside and I show up and I have great customer service. So just figure out what works best for you and just keep doing it, keep showing up because that is the habit that you want to create, not necessarily spending all the money on Suzy Q, right? Like we're not asking you to like go down to the dollar store, go down to Target and getting all these crazy things because I see people, even I'll give you an example. I am on a leadership group for directors and above. And today I saw all these, don't get me wrong, super cute stuff, but all these crazy things that these leaders are buying for their customers who ordered the freaking Disney warmer today, the castle warmer. And I'm like, well, that's cool and all, but it's like that stuff adds up after a while, right? And my thing is that I don't want to get into a bind where I'm going to set myself up where customers, I mean, thank God I haven't been in this position, but I don't want to set myself up where my customers are going to expect this kind of stuff. Or if they're like, I've had friends of mine in the Scentsy business who have received even samples, right? Like small samples that are travel size, travel friendly. And people have gone back to them and said, oh, is this it? Is this it? Is this all I'm getting? I'm like, skirt. I'm like, you're replaceable. But yeah, girl, like y'all, like for real, like I saw this page today and all these upline, all these leaders were like, hey, let me know what you're ordering from Amazon. Let me know what you're getting your customers. But it's like, keep it stupid, keep it simple. Like again, just a scent circle. Use what you have on hand. I was very blessed to already have 2 bars of the Princess Wax because I got it through my Scentsy Club last month. And so I just wanted to see what it smelled like. Thank goodness I haven't used it yet because my customer got the warmer. I had one customer that pre-ordered the warmer and she couldn't decide between the bars. And I'm like, okay, now or never, girlfriend, because we got like 5 minutes. And she never got back with me. So I was like, you know what, it is what it is. But like I said, I'm going to use one of those bars that I have on hand. And that's what I'm going to gift to her. I already had it on hand. But yeah, so I'm going to get off my soapbox on that. But just like I said, customer thank yous, let them know that they're appreciated. Let them know that you appreciate them supporting your business, no matter what that looks like, because they can go other places. They can order from other consultants because, as we all know, there are other consultants. So just make sure and just keep forming that into a habit. And like I said, you're going to make your customers' day, no matter what that looks like. Number 3, schedule 1 post per day in either your VIP group, if you have it. If you don't have a VIP group, it's okay. You don't have to have a VIP group, or personal page. Be intentional. You guys hear me say that all the time. Be intentional with your post. Don't slap a flyer. God forbid. I hope I just don't see you guys post flyers because thank God y'all don't see me. But when any of you on this entire 42 of y'all team post a flyer, I want you to know that I just shake my head because flyers, I mean, don't get me wrong. When I first started out my Scentsy business, that's all I knew was flyers. Like no one taught me, right? Like no one taught me to not do that. Don't do flyers because flyers are not going to create a relationship with you and the customer. They're not going to like draw your customer in and make them want to read your post. They're just going to keep scrolling. Like I know, shocking. I know this might be a surprise for you guys, but no one likes to see flyers. And it is sad because I'm not giving credit to the groups that create those really cute flyers because there are some really nice flyers, but just don't post them all the time. And if you want to post a flyer, put it in stories because stories is meant to be flipped, right? When you're going through like your VIP group and your personal page, you want people to stop the scroll and read what you're posting. So you want to bring them in. You want to tell them a story. You want them to get to know you a little bit more. I can't get to know you with a flyer, right? Like I can't get to know your personality. So I'll just say that. But set your posts up once a day. I typically, again, just because I do this in the morning, because I'm not one of those spring chickens that like jumps out of the bed and I'm just like ready to take on the day. No, me neither, Kristen. So I like to just lay in bed. I have a little check-in with myself, like, hey self, how's your day? No, I'm just kidding. I sometimes do, I'm not gonna lie. But I get my phone and I'm not gonna lie, like I'll lay in bed for about maybe 15-20 minutes just to kind of wake up a little bit. But I am not doing things that are not going to help my business. Like if I'm going to be on my phone, I'm being intentional. So everything that I'm covering right now, this is usually what I do in that time, just letting y'all know. So I typically will go online and I will schedule my post. So unfortunately, you cannot schedule posts on your personal page, but if you guys decide to have a VIP group or if you do have a business page, you can actually schedule your post on there. I highly recommend doing that because that way, once you schedule your post, you're done and you can walk away for the day. Because I know a lot of you guys are not on your phone as often as some of us are, and that's okay. But schedule your post ahead of time. I used to be really good about scheduling them a week in advance, but I'm going to be very transparent with y'all. Most of the time, I take my business one day at a time because every week for me looks so different now. I used to be better about that last year, but this year is a little bit different. So I just take it one day at a time. So if I know some of y'all sometimes ask me like, well, what the heck do I post? If you're not already in the Grow Your PRV group, you need to be in there because that is something that I personally do every day. I share with you guys the exact same thing that I'm doing to work my business. If you are new to this team, if you're new to Cincy, or if you're watching this and you've been sitting and chilling with us for a little while and you're just wanting to revamp your business, I know you're still here. You're watching our video. Ask me to get yourself in the Grow Your PRV group. It's not anything that's daunting, you guys. It takes a couple of seconds. I literally give you an example of what I do, so that way you can take it and you can roll with it and then use it as your own. Don't copy it because, again, people are not going to want to see the same thing over and over. Just use it as an example because that's what I do. I have a group that I follow where the superstar director leader, she posts what she's doing each day. She challenges us as leaders to do the same. And that's what I do with you guys. It's just trickling on down. But schedule your post ahead of time, no matter what that looks like. A lot of times, like if I'm, think about your schedule ahead of time. If I'm going out of town for the weekend, like this next week, whoop, whoop, we got our little Airbnb, right, y'all? Like we got an Airbnb. I'm super excited about it. But guess what? I'm still going to show up in my business. Like I'm still going to schedule my post ahead of time because I know, right? I'm so excited. But I'm going to schedule my post ahead of time because what's incredible is that I want my customers and my following base, everyone that follows me on social media, I want them to see that I can still work my business and I can still have fun. And it's so funny to me because like they'll see me on vacation, but then they see like a video posted in my VIP group, or they'll see like a schedule that's posted that shows up and they're like, oh, I thought you were on vacation. I'm like, oh, I'm on vacation. I had a good trip, but those were like scheduled posts. And so I wasn't there at the time to post it. And they're like, oh, okay, I get it now. But it's cool because then you're showing up and you're letting your people know that you can, have a personal life and then a work life at the same time, and then find balance in that. So that's where those scheduling posts are going to come in handy. One thing that I personally like to do, and if I'm looking over the distance, it's because I'm looking at my calendar, but I like to use topics. You guys see that all the time in our group page. Topics are basically hashtags. I have scroll brain, so it helps me with using topics because it helps me stay on track. So for example, I don't want to go in blind on Wednesday. In other words, I don't want to be like, oh my gosh, I need to post something. I don't know what to post. Well, let me just throw this up on my personal page and call it a day. No, because that's not being intentional. When you start with topics, don't overthink it. Pinterest is where I started with my topics. And I just kind of went from there and I made it a little bit more catered to my brand and to who I wanted to be, and the material that I want to share on my VIP group and the material that I want to share on our team page. But if you're just starting out and you're like, well, I don't even know what topics to pick, go to Pinterest. Seriously, y'all, go to Pinterest, type in the search engine. I think you want to type in like weekly topics, weekly hashtags, and it's going to be super simple, like Motivational Monday, Tip Tuesday. What's another one I've done before? Try It Thursday. what's another one? The possibilities are endless. Like saving Saturday. Like you could pick Saturday, for example, and post one item per Saturday every Saturday, but pick one item from your clearance section, find a personal photo of that item, and share it in Saturday. Like saving Saturday, right? So just an example. Give me a second. I'm going to grab my calendar because my ring light is blinding me and I can't read my calendar. So I just want to read through what I have, and you don't necessarily have to use mine. You could just use it as a guide. So what I have for my team versus my VIP group is very different. So I don't really need to share the team one with you guys because y'all see these. So for my VIP group, that's where I have the topics that I post. So typically what it looks like for me is Monday is typically it's either Motivational Monday or I do like top sellers. So you guys see that usually on Tuesdays, I share the top sellers because Mondays is when I have the call. So I just give it to y'all on Tuesdays like y'all saw today. And so that's usually like top sellers are for me or for Monday. And then try it Tuesday. And then try it Tuesday. And don't narrow it down to just Scentsy stuff because especially if you have a VIP group, y'all, they know you sell Scentsy. So when you have when you're wanting to figure out like what to post, think outside the box. Like try it Tuesday could be maybe a recipe that you tried for the first time, like a super meal, like an easy meal. Like people want to see like who you are and what you do. So if you're throwing in some food into the crock pot, post a picture and show what you threw into that crock pot. Make it simple. Allow them to get to know you a little bit more. Wednesday for me is Warm It Wednesday. So that typically will be like, I'm changing out my wax. I take a picture. You don't have to be in the picture. You could simply just throw your wax bars down on the counter, take a picture, post it, hashtag Warm It Wednesday. There you go. My customers have gotten so used to that now that they actually post it themselves. And so that's something that obviously that they like. You could do Wax Wednesday as well. I've done that too. Thursday for me is Thankful Thursday, but that's just going off of my team or my VIP group because it is Faith and Soul. So Thankful Thursday typically like will be, I don't know, like I'll post like I'm thankful for my family or I'm thankful for my customers. It can be a quote. It can be maybe like an inspirational song, things like that. That's what I usually like to do. Fridays, Feel Good Friday. And you'll notice that some of these topics that I like to do are pretty broad. And that's because the possibilities are endless again, as far as what I can post. And then I can either make it to where it's geared towards Scentsy or not towards Scentsy. So I can go back and forth. Because like I said, they already know you sell Scentsy. So you don't have to remind them that every day. Saturday for me and my group is Sharing is Caring. Again, that can go either way. Typically, if I find like an inspirational video while I'm scrolling through like TikTok or Instagram reels, that's usually what I'll share. Otherwise, if there's something in my own personal business, a goal that I'm trying to hit, if I'm trying to get right now, I'm wanting to get Party Host going. So that's something typically I'll share for Sharing is Caring on Saturday. And then just because, again, going back to my VIP name, Sunday for me is Soul Sunday. So that will typically be like a scripture that I like. Again, maybe a praise and worship song that touched me. Words of wisdom from my Bible study, things like that. But like I said, you don't have to do what I'm doing. That's just giving you a generalized idea. But I do recommend setting something like that up per week because that's going to help you not only stay on task, but it's going to, again, your customers are seeing that. They're seeing that you're showing up for your business and that you're consistent. So that's where those topics are going to help you stay consistent and not just show up maybe like once a week and just say, hey, I'm here, here's, we have a pre-order coming out, and then you disappear and they don't see you again for like another week. Like, don't do that because they're not going to trust you. And you're going to build relationships from that too. Number 4, check your workstation at least once a week. And if you do this, like just once a week, not even if, check your workstation. It's not even if. Check your workstation. But minimal once a week. But just make sure that it's before Monday, because I've noticed that over the last year, Scentsy does most of their releases around Monday. Tuesday, I guess today was kind of an exception, kind of last minute, but Mondays are typically release days. So I would say that if you check it any other time, just make sure it's before Monday. So maybe over the weekend, check Workstation. Most of the time, I'm pretty good about checking Workstation myself. I check it daily just because they are updating it daily. But I'm not asking you guys to do that just because most of the time I am on top of it and able to post like the updates in there. But if you're not one to like get on our group page that often, and that's okay, just make sure that you personally are scheduling it to where you're going into your workstation and you're checking the new stuff that's coming out, because those are things that you also can share as posts with your customers on your personal page and or a VIP group, even your stories if you want to get a little adventurous. Number 5, last but not least, set a personal PRV goal at the beginning of your month. Break that goal down either per day or per week. To me, it just depends upon what your goal is, okay? For some of you guys that are watching this, it could be that you are just needing to revamp your business, and that perhaps looks like $200 PRV to get active, and that's perfectly fine. But you have to make that a goal at the first week of your month and implement and set a goal and write it out. What does that look like through your month? You do not want to set a goal at the beginning of the month and the last week of the month panic because you don't have 200 PRV and you're not active. Like, you don't want to set yourself up for that because it's not going to feel good on the inside. Take the time the first week of the month, write it out. What does that look like? For me, for example, I am actually in a crazy accelerated leadership program right now, you guys. Most of y'all don't even know that, but I'm in an accelerated leadership program, and it is like, it's incredible because it is stretching me and it's pushing me beyond my comfort zone. So for me personally, in this program, if I want to graduate from it, I personally have, not our group sales, just my personal sales. I have from April 2nd and March 2nd until I think it's April 11th or 12th to hit $3,000 PRV. On average, last year I was hitting 2,000 per month. This year is a little different. I'm averaging a little less than 2,000, but that's okay because your girl I've got plans for this year. I'm gonna be all right. But with that $3,000 goal, when we say 3,000 PRV, we're like, right? Because that's a lot of money. That's a lot of Cincy, right? But what I love is that there were leaders who actually broke that up in a per day, right? So I took that and I was like, you know what? You know what it was? It was $70 per day for this time period. That's attainable. Like, that's seriously, guys, that's 2 6-packs of wax for real. Like, isn't that mind-blowing? When you break it up in smaller increments and you figure it's just like a month and about a week and a half-ish, $70 per day is super attainable. Like I said, that's 2 6-packs of wax. $70 in itself sounds like a lot, but if you know your numbers and if you know your product, you know that a 6-pack of wax is $30 before shipping and tax, which you should. So if you do 2 packs of wax, like, and I don't know, like what else, like an extra bar too, like it's $70. Super easy, super attainable. But that's for me. So that's just to let you guys know. So like, depending upon if it's now, I will say if you have not been active in quite a while, set it at 200 and baby steps. Don't go for the gusto. I mean, if you want to, fine, but don't for the gusto and be like, well, I'm hitting 500. Now, if you want to go for that, go for that. That's incredible. But start small. That's what I did. That's what I did in my business. When I started hitting goals of 200, then I was like, okay, I can obtain 200. I'm getting active every month. Let's go for 500. And so on and so forth. But don't jump too far until you can't, figure it out like in the beginning, if that makes sense. Figure it out in the beginning and start small. Be sensible. Be sensible. If you have not been present in your business in like the last quarter, start with 200 because that's all it takes, one time a month per year for you guys to not be kicked out with Cincy. Like, we want to see you stay with Cincy. Okay. So that's all it takes, but start small, like I said. And if that's something that you're struggling with, let's have a chat. I love to chat with you guys because that's something that I personally like to do is, like I said earlier, break down my goals for the month because I most of the time take my business in strides and I take it day by day. And if you have something like, I have a calendar where I just like hand drew it out. You can print it out too. But I love like checking it off and be like, yeah, I got those $70 in, and I like cross it out. And I'm like, whoo, one day down. Another thing that I started doing, I didn't create this, so I'm not going to take credit for it, but leaders come out with these really cute coloring sheets. I love to color, y'all, if y'all didn't already know that. And so this is something that I personally do too. Just to anytime I hit like certain milestones, I get to color it in, right? And then it shows me like other challenges that I could do for the month as well. Let's see, what else? Oh, the last thing that's connected to number 5, after you set your personal goal mid-month, personally, I check my workstation, I check my numbers every day, but that's just because it's like I get kind of like addicted to it. Like, when you think like you're like, well, I don't know, people place an order. I like to go to my workstation and I'm like refresh like every day. Like I mean, if I'm being honest, it's probably like every couple hours, but but if you guys don't have time for that, that's okay. I would say at least once a week, if not mid-month, go on to, especially mid-month, go into your workstation, check your numbers. If you set your goal for 200 for the month and you have $5 in, get in the PRV group. Like I said, grow your PRV group, because I guarantee you guys, if you were in that group, because it's so easy, if you were in that group, you would already have $200 in by at least the second week of the month. I guarantee you that. Maybe not 500, but you got to start small. But 200 by the second week of the month. I guarantee it. Especially if you take these 5 steps and you break it down and you start small and you start creating healthy habits and you're showing up in your business, your PRV is going to show up for you. I guarantee that. Like I'm a walking, talking person. That I see our numbers. I see our group numbers every day. I see all y'all who have kids, who are working 2 jobs, who have personal things going on, and you're still showing up like a boss, and you're bringing in at least 200, if not more, PRV. At least 200. It can be done. At the end of the day, it's just a matter of, do you want it for yourself? Do you believe in yourself? Do you want it? Do you want to show up for your business? And if you're not showing up for your business, I mean, I can't really tell you anything else. Like, I can't help you with that. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and end it, you guys.